Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to News Nation, where right and left come to be reasonable. 6 months in, reasonably into this Trump administration, I say 6 months in, for all the noise, we're still in a battle for better. Democrats are not in power, but they are in their own MAGA mode, as I see it, and I think that's a dicey play. And that's what it is. It's a play, because they can't seriously believe that the country, the majority of us, will go for a bunch of radical socialists with terror-friendly social agendas. And yet, grievance and stoking grievance is making gains for the left as it did for the right. First, it was co-opting the Democratic Party in New York City in the primary for mayor, and now it's Minneapolis. The Democratic Farmer Labor Party just endorsed a socialist with no experience to be the next mayor over their own moderate incumbent. Think about that. Think about that. That's very different than a populist movement that becomes an insurgency in an open field. This took out one of their own who's in office. Now, I don't know what's lower percentage, playing with extreme policies or extreme politics, like going all in suddenly on Epstein, as the Democrats are. If they cared, why didn't they ever do anything about it during the Biden administration? As hollow as I find the intrigue surrounding a mythical client list, or these magical notions that Epstein was murdered, at least the MAGA folk are asking for transparency in the name of discovering if more people need to be held responsible for trafficking and sexually abusing children. Democrats aren't asking for that. They're clearly only interested in causing Trump agita. And this isn't just my opinion of what they're doing. It's the predominant perception within their own ranks. Approval ratings have hit rock bottom. A recent CNN poll found just 28% of Americans view Democrats favorably. It's the lowest mark for them in the 30-year history of CNN even asking the question, okay? And yet, they're not wrong that Epstein is a problem for this administration, even though the solution is simple, and this is the solution. Release everything. Go to court, tell the judges to unseal, make a compelling argument of the need for disclosure. Have the Attorney General explain what she meant by a client list on her desk. Have the pod bros at the top of the FBI explain why they no longer believe what they did when they were profiting off the speculation about Epstein's murder. But most of all, you have enough serious things going on, good and bad, to point to that will connect you to the majority. Stop trying to distract with other extreme culture plays. Nobody voted for Trump because they wanted to relitigate whether it's okay to have a sports team named the Cleveland Indians, okay? You can feel any way you want it. The Washington Redskins, now the Commanders. This was not what the election was about. This is not what the majority has as a shared concern. Now, at least this ploy is largely innocuous. The other that is being used as a distraction to Epstein is not. In fact, yes, I do believe it's dangerous. I can't believe it's a coincidence that DNI Gabbard came out with a revelation that Obama made up Russiagate just when Epstein was causing Trump a problem. I don't believe in that kind of innocent coincidence. The crux of the claim is that the intelligence community under Obama ignored previous intelligence and manufactured proof that Russia wanted Trump to win. And by doing so, they kneecapped his first administration. Now, forget about the fact that I don't know how you can blame any of that for what happened during Trump's administration. But Gabbard points to a timeline showing that it took them a while to say Russia wanted Trump to win the election. See, I see this more as a sign that they were nervous about tipping the scales weeks before the election, and that they actually held off, because to everyone else, Russia's intentions were blatantly obvious in 2016. In June, it was widely reported Russian government hackers penetrated the DNC, and that was true, right? Remember? We know, because WikiLeaks started releasing the hacked emails that Russia stole. Yes, in September, an IC assessment made no mention of Russia wanting Trump to win the election, but by that time, they didn't have to. We all knew that. We didn't need an intelligence assessment about it. We had the DNC emails. Why do you think they hacked them? And on October 7th, 2016, the intentions became very clear for Russia. The The day started off bad for Trump, remember? After months of being wishy-washy, the U.S. finally blamed Russia for the DNC hacks. Then 30 minutes after that, we had the Access Hollywood tape. But then WikiLeaks came to the rescue and started releasing the Podesta emails, which, helped soften the blow. Now, what's new is that Gabbard notes in December, a draft presidential daily brief that said Russia did not impact the election results. But here's the key language. Russia didn't impact the election results by hacking infrastructure, meaning changing the tabulations, which we all knew. I never heard anything serious about that in any other regard. So the draft gets killed, and Obama's top intel officials hold a meeting. After the meeting, reports leaked that the CIA believes Russia was trying to help Trump win. But we already knew he was trying to help Trump win. Then in January, there's a full intelligence community assessment that says essentially Putin wanted Trump to win. Gabbard says that this is fruit of the poisonous tree, that they were setting the stage for the Russia probes and making this up. But anyone could have told you that Russia wanted Trump to win 6 months before. Now, this is kind of confusing. If you watch this again on Instagram or something, it really isn't. But here's the point, I think it's supposed to be confusing. I think that they're playing with the timeline, they're playing with language, they're playing semantics because they're trying to distract from Epstein and give MAGA another scandal of lack of transparency to grab onto that's bad for the Democrats, And look, Russiagate is a great trigger for the right. And there are absolutely lessons that I hope we learned, and I wish I could go back and cover it all again, but I can't. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.